Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Tuesday, August 17th, 2021. Today I'm going to recap yesterday's Major League Baseball and NBA Summer League games. Look ahead to tonight's games for baseball in the Summer League, and then we'll look ahead to WNBA Major League Soccer games as well. Then we'll do my NFL quarterback preseason rankings for this season, latest news and notes, and my best bet of the day. All right, we'll start in Major League Baseball as we will go over the results last night, and we will look ahead to everything going on today. Makeup game from July 1st. Yankees over the Angels 2-1. The Yankees are 66-52. The Angels are 59-61. Garrett Cole the win. Jose Suarez the loss, and Chad Green the save. Braves over the Marlins 12-2. The Braves are 63-56. Miami 51-68. Tukey Toussaint the win, and Braxton Garrett the loss. Rays over the Orioles 9-2. The Rays 72-47. Baltimore 38-79. Josh Fleming the win. Matt Harvey the loss. Reds over the Cubs 14-5. The Reds 65-55. The Cubs 52-69. That's 12 straight losses for the Cubs, and by the way, 12 straight L's for the Orioles as well. Wade Miley the win, Justin Steele the loss. White Sox over the Athletics 5-2. A big win for the White Sox and a huge loss. Or a bad loss for the Oakland A's. Chicago 69-50, Oakland 68-51. Dallas Keuchel the win, Frankie Montas the loss, and Liam Hendricks the save. Twins over the Indians 5-4 in 10 innings on a walk-off double by Jorge Polanco. Minnesota 53-66, Cleveland 57-60. Getting the win was Caleb Thalbar, and the loss, Nick Whitgren. Royals over the Astros 7-6. The Royals are 50-67, Houston 70-48. Getting the win was Scott Barlow. The loss, Yimi Garcia. Rockies over the Padres 6-5. The Rockies 53-66, San Diego 67-54. They won on a walk-off homer by C.J. Cron. Daniel Bard the win, Daniel Hudson the loss. Giants over the Mets 7-5. The Giants 77-42. The Mets 59-59. Kevin Gausman the win. Miguel Castro the loss. And Jake McGee the save. Dodgers over the Pirates 2-1. The Dodgers 73-46. Pittsburgh 42-77. Blake Treinen the win. Chasen Shreve the loss. And Kenley Jansen the save. All right, today's games. Doubleheader game 1. Red Sox Yankees from Yankee Stadium. I think the biggest series of the season for both teams, arguably in the entire majors this season. Tanner Houck and Jordan Montgomery in game 1. And as the Yankees are getting people back, they're a -124 favorite in the matinee. The Red Sox are +106, over under 7. Over -115, under -105. Red Sox +1.5 is -184. Yankees -1.5 is +152. Tough one here. I'd say these guys have been just about even. Houck's been pretty good so far. But this is his biggest game. This is Jordan Montgomery's biggest regular season start. I'm going to go with the over 7 -115. No, I could see a world where this is a push or one of the offenses go off in game 1 and destroy the other's bullpen. Game 2, 7 o'clock. Nathan Eovaldi, Luis Gil. Yanks -112, Boston -104, over under 7. Overs -115, unders -105. Red Sox -1.5 is +168. Yankees +1.5 is -205. So the Red Sox are favored on the run line in game 2, but the Yankees are favored on the money line in game 2. And the Yankees are favored on the money line in both games. Luis Gil has been amazing for the Yankees since getting called up. And he really has been a hero for the Yankees. Nathan Eovaldi, on and off in terms of production. Oh, now it just went to a pick'em, -108. Taking the Yankees because they're just a better team. I think there's a chance the Yankees sweep the doubleheader. Blue Jays Nationals. Alek Manoah and Eric Feed. Toronto -220. Washington +184. Over under 9.5. Overs -112. Unders -110. Blue Jays -1.5 is -128. Nats +1.5 is +105. I'm gonna go over 9.5 -112. Angels Tigers. Dylan Bundy, Casey Mize. Tigers -142, Angels +120, over under 9.5. Overs -102, unders -120. Angels +1.5 is -170. Detroit -1.5 is +140. I'm gonna go, and the numbers just changed on the spot. I'm gonna go under 9 -115. I think Casey Mize pitches well, and I don't know if the Angels will score a lot of runs. Braves Marlins. Huascar Ynoa and Sandy Alcantara. The Braves are -126. The Marlins are +108. Over under 7.5. Overs -106. Unders -114. Braves -1.5 is +142. Marlins +1.5 is -172. This is a tough one because both these pitchers are very good. And I don't like betting unders, but I'm going to do it here. I'm actually going to take the under. I think this could be like a 4-2, 5-1 type of game. Orioles Rays. John Means and Drew Rasmussen. Rays -235. Orioles +194. Over under 8. Overs -118. Unders -104. Orioles +1.5 is -108. Rays -1.5 is -111. I'm going under 8 -104. John Means is good. I think that this is a low-scoring game. I think the Rays probably win, but I'm just going to say this is low-scoring because of Means. Cubs Reds. Kyle Hendricks and Vlad Gutierrez. Reds -172. Cubs +144. Over under 9.5. Overs -108. Unders -112. Cubs +1.5 is -140. Reds -1.5 is +116. I'm going to go under 9.5 -112. I just think that both these pitchers are pretty good, and it's a lower scoring game. 7:45 Brewers Cardinals. Corbin Burns, Adam Wainwright. Brewers -158. Cardinals +134. Over under 7. Overs -115. Unders -105. Brewers -1.5 is +114. Cards +1.5 is -137. Going over 7 -115. I think the Brewers offense is a little bit better, and Nolan Arenado's been hot. I think there's a chance that both these pitchers will perform up to the numbers. 8 o'clock, the Mariners and the Rangers. Tyler Anderson and Spencer Howard. Mariners -154. Rangers +130. Over under 8.5. Overs -112, unders -110. Mariners -1.5 is +105. Texas +1.5 is -126. I'm going over 8.5 -112. Indians Twins. Eli Morgan and Bailey Ober. Twins -158. Indians +134. Over under 9.5 -110 each way. Cleveland +1.5 is -150. Twins -1.5 is +125. I'm going over 9.5 -110. Astros Royals. Framber Valdez and Daniel Lynch. Astros -198. Royals +166. Over under 9.5. Over -112. Unders -108. Astros -1.5 is -128. Royals +1.5 is +106. I'm going over 9.5 -112. A's White Sox. Chris Bassett and Reynaldo Lopez. Each team's -108, over under 9. Over minus 102, under minus 120. Oakland minus 1.5 is plus 158. White Sox plus 1.5 is minus 192. So another potential playoff preview. Tough one. Reynaldo Lopez hasn't pitched much this year. Chris Bassett been fabulous. I'm going to Oakland, bounce back spot. Padres Rockies at 8:30. Matt Strom, Herman Marquez. Padres minus 110, Rockies minus 106, over under 12, minus 110 each way. Padres minus 1.5 is plus 134, Rockies plus 1.5 is minus 162. I'm going to go under 12, minus 110. That is so high. And Marquez isn't bad. So I'm going to go under 12. Maybe this is a 6-4 game. 9:30, Phillies Diamondbacks. Kyle Gibson, we don't know who's going for Zona. And the line's not up yet. But if the total's anything less than 9, I'm taking the over. Mets Giants at 9:45. Marcus Stroman and Logan Webb. Giants minus 168. Mets plus 142. Over under 8. Overs minus 112. Unders minus 108. Mets plus 1.5 is minus 146. Giants minus 1.5 is plus 122. The Mets need this game in the worst way. And I actually am going to pick them plus 142. I think it's good value on the Mets here against the Giants. I'm going to go with the Mets. The Pirates and the Dodgers. Will Crow and David Price at 10 o'clock. Dodgers minus 330. Pirates plus 265. Over under 9, minus 110 each way. Pirates plus 1.5 is plus 136. Dodgers minus 1.5 is minus 164. Tough one, but I'm going to go over 9, minus 110. I think that there's a chance the Dodgers do this by themselves. All right, now move on to the NBA Summer League. We will recap yesterday's consolation games and look ahead to today's games. Pacers over the Wizards 74-65. Cassius Stanley at 19 with 7 boards and 2 assists for Indiana. Isaiah Todd had 11 for Washington. Nuggets over the Bucks, 94-87. The Nuggets, Nahshon Hyland, 20 points and 5 assists. Demetric Trice, 24 points for Milwaukee. Thunder over the Spurs, 116-91. Rob Edwards, 23 points. Joe Wieskamp had 12 with 7 boards. Cavs over the Suns, 88-85. Trayvon Scott had 16 for Cleveland, and Kyle Alexander had 18 with 14 boards for Phoenix. Knicks over the Hawks, 104-85. Quentin Grimes, 26 points for the Knicks. Javen DeLoyer, 18 with 7 boards for Atlanta. Pistons over the Magic, 79-78. Luka Garza had 21 points and 15 boards for Detroit, and Hassani Gravett had 19 for Orlando. Grizzlies over the Clippers, 104-95. Shaq Buchanan had 21 points for Memphis, and Brandon Boston Jr. had 20 for the Clippers. Bulls over the Hornets, 99-74. Ayo Dosunmu had 19 for the Bulls, and Kai Jones 16 and 9 boards for Charlotte. All right, looking ahead to today, all consolation games in the final. So ESPNU at 3 o'clock, you have the Mavericks and the Heat. 3:30, you have the Jazz and the Sixers. 5 o'clock on ESPN News, Rockets Trailblazers. 5:30, Nets Raptors. 7 o'clock ESPN News, Lakers Warriors. 7:30, Pelicans Timberwolves. And 9 o'clock on ESPN, you have the Kings and the Celtics. If you ask me a winner of this game, because that is considered the championship, both teams 4-0 in the Summer League. Pelicans Timberwolves, honorable mention to them. I guess that's for 3rd place. They're also 4-0. Wonder when they base the championship matchup off of. But if you asked me who's more likely to win this Summer League game, I'm going to say it's the Sacramento Kings. I just think that they have more young talent on the roster here in Las Vegas than the Boston Celtics. All right, WNBA tonight. We will discuss the slate after a day off yesterday. 7 o'clock on Prime Video. Have the Lynx and the Sun. That's a very good game for Amazon to get between two teams that are going to make the postseason. And by the way, the Storm won the Commissioner's Cup. So that's over. So the Lynx and the Sun. You got your third and fourth place teams, respectively, in that game. 8 o'clock CBS Sports area, you have the Wings in the Sky. Chicago coming off that big win. Do they avoid the letdown here? Probably. 10 o'clock CBS Sports Network, you have the Mystics and the Aces. The Aces are very good, and then the Mystics, Tina Charles has carried them throughout the year. They're the 8th seed where things stand right now in the standings. So this is a big game for them. 10 o'clock on Facebook, you have the Fever and the Mercury. The Mercury need to start beating up on these bad teams. They're currently 6th, so they're in that mix with Chicago and the Liberty and Washington for that bottom half of the league. And 10:30 on NBA TV, you have the Dream and the Sparks. 2 lottery teams at the moment. And by the way, the Wings are only a half game back from the Liberty for the postseason. So this is a big game. And the Sparks are 1.5 back. So this is a big game for the Sparks. And then the Wings have a big game tonight in Chicago. All right, now we'll do MLS's slate for tonight after a day off from yesterday, 2 games. 10:30, you have LA Galaxy hosting Colorado. The Galaxy 3rd in the West, Colorado 4th in the West. This is a fabulous game. The Galaxy is even money at home. Colorado plus 230, draw plus 240. This is a hard call. Colorado, I think, is the better team, actually. So I'm going to take I'm going to take Colorado here. The Rapids to get the win on the road. And then you have San Jose hosting Minnesota. San Jose is 9th. And Minnesota is 5th. Where things stand right now in the standings. San Jose's plus 120, Minnesota's plus 190, draw plus 240. I'm going to take Minnesota on the road plus 190, so I'm going with both road underdogs tonight in Major League Soccer. All right, the big activity you all been waiting for. 2021 NFL preseason quarterback rankings. You guys know I love doing this. It really gathers up some chatter and debate. There's more than 32 quarterbacks because I put in the rookies in there, and then I put in some teams that have multiple options to start at quarterback that feel realistic. Like, for example, Cam Newton, Mac Jones, Teddy Bridgewater, Drew Lock. Examples like that. So, without further ado, I bring to you my 2021 NFL preseason quarterback rankings. 37, Trey Lance, San Francisco 49ers. 36, Mac Jones, New England Patriots. 35, Zach Wilson, New York Jets. 34, Justin Fields, Chicago Bears. 33, Trevor Lawrence, Jacksonville Jaguars. I always put the rookies at the bottom, and then I rank them here based on how I feel they would perform in their rookie season, along with how much playing time I think these quarterbacks will see. And also team dependent a little bit as well. Number 32, Tyson Hill, New Orleans Saints. I think Taysom Hill might be one of the more overrated players in all of football. He just runs, and teams know how to defend him now. 31, Drew Lock, Denver Broncos. Put up or shut up for Drew Lock. Teddy's waiting in the wings. Number 30, Andy Dalton, the Chicago Bears. Andy Dalton, I don't think will be their starting quarterback for long. Number 29, Tua Tagovailoa, the Miami Dolphins. A lot of pressure on Tua. You can make a case this is a make-or-break year for Tua in year 2. Because you see Justin Herbert and how great he was his rookie year. And you saw Joe Burrow and how great he was before tearing his ACL. And Tua is clearly the worst of the 3. Number 28, Jalen Hurts, Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts is like the slightly better version of Tyson Hill. He just runs around. Jalen Hurts is higher than Tyson Hill because I think Jalen Hurts is going to start most of the games for the Eagles. Meanwhile, for the Saints, I believe Jameis Winston will start most of their games, and I think that Hurts has more upside than Taysom Hill, has a higher ceiling. Number 27, Daniel Jones, New York Giants. Daniel Jones is the quarterback facing the most pressure this season, in my opinion. I think that there's so much pressure on him to make a Josh Allen-esque type of leap. Because if he doesn't make that leap, the Giants are drafting a quarterback in 2022. And they have the flexibility to go trade up and do so because the Chicago Bears traded them their first-round pick for 2022. And the Chicago Bears may not be very good either. Number 26, Sam Darnold, Carolina Panthers. Sam Darnold, new situation. I think he'll be better in Carolina, but the question is, how much better? 25, Jared Goff, Detroit Lions. If he was still on the Rams, he'd be higher on this list. But he doesn't have the weapons he had in Los Angeles, so he may revert back in the 2016 Jared Goff for all that we know. 24, Teddy Bridgewater, Denver Broncos. I think you'll see a lot of Teddy in Denver. They have a lot of talent. I think that he will play as well as he did at times with the Panthers last year, if not better. Number 23, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Washington football team. Ryan Fitzpatrick is just a steady quarterback, but has a low basement because he's certainly capable of throwing 5 interceptions in a game. 22, Derek Carr, Las Vegas Raiders. Derek Carr's always thrown in make-or-break conversations. And he's someone I think is just better than people give him credit for. He just is on a bad team. 21, Jameis Winston, New Orleans Saints. Jameis Winston has to be the starting quarterback for the Saints. He has more upside than Taysom Hill. But my issue with Winston is that he gives the ball away too much. Number 20, Cam Newton, New England Patriots. I think Cam has a chance to be better this year than he was last year. I think you can make a case that COVID did him in last year, and he deserves better, and that he will be better, and he has better weapons around him too. Number 19, Ben Roethlisberger, Pittsburgh Steelers. Big Ben and the Steelers got off to that great start last year. I want to say they started like 12-0 or something ridiculous like that, and then they fell off a map. And they lost in the first round. I think that the finish of the season was not an aberration, and that could be what's to come for the Steelers this year. And all due respect to Big Ben, fabulous career, but you could really argue to see that he may be washed up at this point. Number 18, Carson Wentz, Indianapolis Colts. I think that if he's healthy, he could be rejuvenated in Indy with a good offensive line and some nice weapons around him. But injury issues is what's keeping him this low. 17, Matt Ryan, Atlanta Falcons. Matt Ryan, I think, doesn't get the respect he deserves because people just look at him as a not great quarterback because the Falcons haven't been good, except for that outlier year where they made the Super Bowl. But Matt Ryan's still good. The issues with the Falcons, to me, are on defense. But that said, Matt Ryan is also a guy that is getting older and really isn't as good as he was, even in that Super Bowl season. And like I said, I don't think that they should have taken Kyle Pitts at 4. That's very reminiscent of the Giants taking Saquon Barkley at 2 and the Cowboys taking Ezekiel Elliott at 4. But the only one that's worked out was Elliott because they were good right away. And Tony Romo came back from his injury. So we'll see how that all works out. 16, Ryan Tannehill, Tennessee Titans. Tannehill's been fabulous the last 2 years for Tennessee. His rejuvenation of his career really is what turned the Titans into a solid perennial playoff team these last couple of seasons. 15, Kirk Cousins, Minnesota Vikings. Kirk Cousins is an interesting person, interesting quarterback. I think the Vikings could have a bounce back year this year. That's a good offensive team. The offensive line still isn't great. And maybe their defense will be a little bit better. And Cousins doesn't have the high ceiling, but he has a high floor. And is very consistent at times. 14, Jimmy Garoppolo, San Francisco 49ers. Garoppolo is a quarterback that's under immense pressure this year because Trey Lance is waiting in the wings, similar to Cam Newton and Mac Jones. I think it's inevitable with Fields and Dalton. But Garoppolo led this team to the Super Bowl a couple years ago, and people forget about that. And I know he's been very injury prone, and that's why the Niners traded up for the quarterback. And we'll see what happens with Garoppolo and how much he starts and how much Trey Lance starts. 13, Joe Burrow, Cincinnati Bengals. This ranking might seem premature, but I really think that Joe Burrow is going to come back and be very good for the Cincinnati Bengals. But his issue is that his roster isn't that good yet, although the Bengals are trying with a couple of nice free agent signings and good draft picks. It's similar to what the Jaguars are trying to do for Trevor down in Jacksonville, so we'll see. Number 12, Matt Stafford, Los Angeles Rams. I've never been the biggest fan of Matt Stafford, but I like Matt Stafford with the Rams. I think that Sean McVay's going to get a lot out of Stafford, and he could be in for his best season of his career. Number 11, Dak Prescott, Dallas Cowboys. I know the injuries are a big deal for Dak, and the biggest subplot of training camp is whether he'll be actually back week 1 against the Buccaneers or not. But his presence back in the Cowboys lineup is very much needed. Number 10, Kyler Murray, Arizona Cardinals. I love Kyler Murray. He was fabulous last year until he got hurt towards the end of the season. Number 9, Justin Herbert, Los Angeles Chargers. It's crazy that a second-year quarterback is already in the top 10, but we see it here with Justin Herbert. I love Justin Herbert. He really is in for a big season. He has a ton of talent around him. I don't know about the new coach. We'll see. I think that certainly helps because Anthony Lynn was just bad. Number 8, Baker Mayfield, Cleveland Browns. I think Baker's in for a good year this year. A lot of talent on that team as well. Number 7, Lamar Jackson, Baltimore Ravens. I think that he'll be better this year than last year. I know he had COVID last year, and he had COVID this summer too. So we'll see how Lamar looks, but I think Lamar's in for a good year. This one has asterisks by it because there's been no suspension handed out yet, and that is obviously Deshaun Watson of the Houston Texans. I love Deshaun Watson, the quarterback. Such a special player, special talent, but the Texans have just wasted him. And the other reason why it has an asterisk by his name is because he could very well be a starting quarterback on another team like the Philadelphia Eagles. Maybe it's the Denver Broncos in a month from now. So it's either maybe he gets suspended or maybe he's on Denver or Philly or Washington or a team that needs a quarterback long term. Number 5, Russell Wilson, Seattle Seahawks. Russell Wilson has just been great year in and year out. But his issue is that he just slows off after hot starts. And he has some nice players around him, but he doesn't have the full arsenal like a Dak Prescott per se. But Russ really has just been carrying that team for years. Number 4, Josh Allen, Buffalo Bills. I think Josh Allen's in for a huge year. The Bills, to me, are among the favorites in the AFC. And Allen, to me, is an MVP candidate. Number 3, Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers is back, and to me, he's a man on a mission. I think he's happy that Randall Cobb's back on the team. I think that Devontae Adams is all in now that Rodgers is back all in. So I think Aaron Rodgers is in for a big year. Number 2, Tom Brady, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady's on the top 2 of this list as long as he's still Tom Brady. And as far as I'm concerned, he's still Tom Brady. He just won the Super Bowl. And number 1, if there wasn't any doubt, Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City Chiefs. I don't care that they lost the Super Bowl last year. I don't care that Patrick Mahomes didn't win MVP last year or the year before. He's still Patrick Mahomes. He's still superhuman. Although he did prove to be human in the Super Bowl. That was more so due to injuries of the Chiefs' offensive line and a ferocious Bucs pass rush. But Patrick Mahomes is still Patrick Mahomes. The Chiefs got a good team around them. And Mahomes is just going to lift that team yet again. So there you have it for my quarterback rankings preseason edition of 2021. All right, now we'll do news and notes, which is always fun depending on the day. Something fun. Travis Kelce doesn't have a beard. As he shaved it, it looks like a totally different person. You guys gotta check it out. The big news of the morning, Joel Embiid got a monster extension. 4 years, $196 million, supermax contract extension. As Embiid, the best big man in the NBA, you can't convince me otherwise, gets big money. But my issue with this is because of his injuries. But if he's healthy, he's worth every penny. And the other big news of the morning is that the Jacksonville Jaguars released Tim Tebow. And Tebow in a statement, grateful for the chance to have pursued a dream. So, the Tim Tebow experience did not work out. And he is now released. And speaking of Joel Embiid, he didn't get the knee surgery to repair his torn meniscus after last season's playoffs. And then an update on the Trevor Bauer case. A woman testifies against the pitcher on the first day of restraining order hearing. So, any other news related to this we'll have on the podcast. Major League Baseball already announced the 2022 Field of Dreams set. It's going to be the Cubs playing host this time to the Cincinnati Reds. So it's in a division game this time around. So that's really cool. Carly Lloyd is retiring after a couple U.S. friendlies in the fall. So congratulations to one of the best soccer players in the world. What a great career for Carly Lloyd. The Atlanta Falcons become the first team to reach the 100% COVID-19 vaccination rate. We'll see what other teams get to that mark before the season. We talked about Tebow getting released. There is a video that went viral yesterday. That was a bad block. Yes, he was trying to run block. And it blew up on Twitter. Joey Votto reaches 2,000th hits. Or got his 2,000th hit as the fifth player in franchise history to do so. Dallas in no rush to play Dak, as he will not likely to play in any preseason games as he recovers from the sore shoulder. Meanwhile, the Colts are pleased with Carson Wentz's rehab. Frank Reich, we feel good about where we're at, he says. The New York Jets activate Quinnen Williams off the PUP list as he practiced yesterday. Two more contract extensions. Marcus Smart, Boston, 4 years, $77 million. And Josh Hart, 3 years, $38 million with the Pelicans. So, a couple decent contract extensions handed out to solid players, not superstar players, but above average role players. Oh, Smart's a more above average role player than Josh Hart. Philadelphia Eagles players see Hurts undoubtedly as the Eagles franchise quarterback. I have to see it to believe it. He's got to carry them to the playoffs for me to see that. Then to me, you're a franchise quarterback. Or at least put up the stats. Yankees outfielder Clint Frazier might not play again after he was pulled from a minor league game with vision issues. Kings forward Chimizi Metu suspended 1 game for punching Eugene Omori in the Summer League. So he was suspended 1 Summer League game. The Padres signed Jake Arrieta after being released by the Cubs, and Arrieta is going to start tomorrow night, if I'm not mistaken. Greg Popovich's gold medal speech. He says, "How the F do you like us now?" That's so funny coming from Greg Popovich. Jalen Green happy in Houston. He feels more comfortable in Houston and believes Detroit would have been like the G League bubble. Ouch. That's an insulting comment towards Detroit. Texans trade Keon Croson, the corner, to the Giants in exchange for an undisclosed draft pick. So the Giants getting secondary depth there. Evan Fournier roasts Kevin Durant as he took a shot at Kevin Durant's haircut on Twitter. Jesse Winker placed on the injured list with the back strain. That's a big loss for the Reds. He's been fabulous for them this year. New York Rangers fans buys a Jack Eichel billboard as a new billboard went up in Buffalo today next to the Sabres rink. Aren't trade requests a pain in the neck? That's crazy. And Kevin Fiala and the Wild avoid arbitration with a 1-year, $5.1 million contract. And the preseason AP poll is out for college football. So, number 1, as we expect, is Alabama. Number 2, Oklahoma, Spencer Rattler, the Heisman favorite. 3's Clemson with a new quarterback. Number 4 is Ohio State. 5's Georgia. 6 is Texas A&M. So that is, to me, the correct top 6, but I wouldn't put them in that exact order, maybe the exception of Alabama at 1. 7, Iowa State. 8 is Cincinnati. 9's Notre Dame. 10's North Carolina. 11's Oregon. 12, Wisconsin. 13, Florida. 14, Miami. 15, USC. 16, LSU. 17, Indiana. 18, Iowa. 19, Penn State. 20, Washington. 21, Texas. 22, Coastal Carolina. 23, Louisiana Lafayette. 24, Utah. And 25, Arizona State. So the Pac-12 getting some love. 5 teams from the Pac-12 in there. The Big 12 not getting as much attention as you would have thought. Obviously, Oklahoma and Iowa State are in the top 10. Texas is down there as well, but I don't know if I would have put Texas in there. Congrats to the Sun Belt. Coastal and Louisiana both getting in there. That's awesome. And then obviously some Big 10 in the middle of the list. I think Oregon should be higher. Notre Dame shouldn't be that high. They lost a lot of talent. But yeah, there's some teams that I don't think should be in there, like Texas. And I think that there are some teams that were potentially snubbed on this list as well. So, it's a decent list, but not the best list. And then one more news item for you. Chris Cuomo, the governor Andrew Cuomo, or soon-to-be Governor Andrew Cuomo. Oh my God. Chris Cuomo, who is the brother of soon-to-be former Governor Andrew Cuomo, breaks his silence on CNN and says, "I did urge my brother to resign." So that was something that I was interested in seeing, the reaction of his brother Chris, who is a news anchor on CNN. So he finally spoke up about it 6 days after his brother makes the huge announcement. All right, so there you have it for news and notes today. Now, my best bet of the day, brought to you by FanDuel. Yesterday's was a winner, as I took the over 8.5 between the Braves and the Marlins, as the Braves did it by themselves. And today's best bet, I'm going to go over 7 between the Brewers and the Cardinals. Am I going to go there, or under 8.5 between Rays and Orioles? If I don't trust the Orioles pitching, like their bullpen pitching. But now over 7's even money. I got to do that. I'm going to lay 1.5 units over 7. Even money. Brewers, Cardinals for my best bet of the day. All right, so there you have it for the show. I'll be back tomorrow recapping the baseball, NBA Summer League, WNBA, MLS games. Looking ahead to games tomorrow. Well, with the exception of the Summer League, obviously, because that ends tomorrow, or ends today. Tomorrow's activity is going to be NFL running back rankings, and then news and notes and my best bet too. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.